for Next Century Cities. We couldn't be more excited that you decided to join us this morning, and we are going to dig into topics all things broadband. First, I do want to make sure that you get to know just a little bit about Next Century Cities. In case it's your first time or you've been following our work, you should know that we are a nonprofit based in Washington, D.C., but we have member municipalities across the United States. In over 40 states, we have local leaders who reach out to us for support for all things broadband. We work on broadband data, digital divide issues, broadband adoption, centering digital equity, and most importantly, we are always looking for ways to be a thought leader and a thought
recording in progress
for local leaders who are working to expand access for every single resident in their community. So you'll find out a little bit more about what we do today, but first we want to thank not only you, but also our sponsors and our supporters who've been a part of our entire transformation this year and the year before. And we're really excited that we at least get to dig into some thought leadership with you. So I will turn it over to Ryan to tell you a little bit about what we do.
Hi, good morning, everyone. And thank you, Francella, for that introduction. As she mentioned, my name is Ryan Johnston. I am the Policy Counsel for Federal Programs here at NCC. And I wanted to take a moment to emphasize the importance of including local perspectives in federal policymaking. So it is absolutely imperative that we continue to challenge the rhetoric that's often used that declares everything is fine and the digital divide is closing. When it comes down to it, local officials really do have the best view of how connectivity solutions affect their communities, and their stories from them and their communities, and often the hard data that accompanies that really helps quantify otherwise qualitative stories and helps drive better policymaking. So those unique local perspectives capture both the positives and the negatives of policies that are enacted at every level. And they also help provide clear information to lawmakers about what's working and what isn't, and what those potential solutions are that might have positive impacts on not just their community, but similar communities across the nation. This is why it's so critical that we continue to work with local officials to elevate their experiences to change the face of federal policymaking. And so with that, it's my great pleasure to turn it over to Corian Zacker.
Good morning, I'm Corian Zacker, Policy Counsel for State and Local Initiatives at Next Century Cities. Across the country, local governments have been instrumental in collecting broadband data about the services available to residents and businesses in their community. Some communities have even taken it a step further, not only investigating where service is available, but addressing gaps for those who remain disconnected, and including for other reasons such as unaffordability, gaps in digital literacy, and insufficient device access. At the same time, those communities need planning and funding resources in order to address persistent challenges. NCC works to fill those gaps by researching local broadband projects and developing resources to help communities design broadband strategies of their own. With that, I'll pass it over to Lukas, who has been instrumental in establishing and maintaining new partnerships with NCC.
Thanks so much, Corian. Hi, everyone. My name is Lukas Pietzrak, and I serve as the Program Manager for Partnerships and Campaigns for Next Century Cities. We are so extremely thankful for the generous support of our sponsors who made today's pre-conference and tomorrow's conference possible. Our platinum sponsor, Google Fiber, our bronze sponsor, the Siegel Family Endowment, and our official streaming partner, the Greater Washington, D.C. chapter of the Internet Society. We're also always grateful for the ongoing organizational support from the Ford Foundation, the Open Society Foundations, the Media Democracy Fund, the Robert Deutsch Foundation, and Google. They ensure that the Next Century Cities team can continue to make an impact all year long. Additionally, the NCC team wants to thank our organizational allies, both in Washington, D.C. and across the country, who collaborate with our team regularly and are helping do the hard work of closing the digital divide. Since 2014, our allies have ensured that we can create strong coalitions and partnerships that center our one goal, to permanently close the divide. We hope that you all engage with us today in this webinar, but also across social media. If you have any questions, thoughts, research to share, or just want to be a part of the conversation, be sure to use hashtag NCCCon21 or hashtag broadbandispower. I now have the distinct pleasure of turning it back over to our amazing executive director, Francella Ochillo. Francella is the glue that holds together NCC and continues to push us to dream bigger and do more. So back to you, Francella.
Thank you so much, Lukas. And aside from being lucky to have all of you, we are very lucky to have an academic in our ranks. Brittany Ray is a character. She is definitely a force to be reckoned with. She pushes us to build bridges in between scholars and researchers and the policy work that we do day to day. She joined NCC in 2020 with very specific ideas about what our communication strategies should be. And since then, she has certainly completely changed everything about the way that we reach out to members and also the way we embrace other partners. This event in particular is a perfect example of Brittany Ray pushing us to expand our embrace. And so we are gathering today to at least collaborate with some of the scholars and the researchers who work every single day on addressing the gaps that we are determined to close. So with no further ado, I want to say thank you to Brittany Ray for pushing us to have our first academic conference. You are a star in our ranks every single day of the week, and I'm excited that the rest of the world gets to see you.